Are you getting in the holiday spirit yet? If not, these sweet little quilted Christmas ornaments might be just the thing that you need. They look very, very intricate, but they are so easy to make. Stick around and I'm going to show you in about 5 minutes how to make these. So to make these adorable quilted Christmas ornaments, you're just going to need a few things. You will need styrofoam balls. I chose the 2.5 inch size just because I think that is perfect for our tree, but they come in smaller and bigger. The smaller might be a little challenging for a first time just because you will be working in a tiny space and the styrofoam can be delicate, but if you're brave, go for it. You will need fabric, scraps. You can just choose scraps that you have lying about the house. I went ahead and bought packages of fat quarters just because I had particular colors that I wanted and we didn't have those colors lying around. I think as long as you choose any fabric that is somewhat thin, a quilting fabric, you're going to be fine. I wouldn't go with something stretchy. I wouldn't go with anything too silky, at least not for your first go around. You will need ribbon. Just any ribbon will do, although I prefer something a little smaller. The larger the ribbon, the more difficult it might be to manipulate it around the ball. You will need pins. Quilting pins are usually the best, but if you're in a pinch, you can use any type of straight pin. I think these are pretty. They come in colors. I like the pearly white ones. They're a little longer than the straight pins that you would get when you're sewing. And you will need scissors to cut the fabric into the pieces that you want. Fabric scissors would be best, but I've actually used the little scissors from kindergarten. Especially if you have a small child doing this project, you may want to choose those type of scissors for them. And then something that is firm and straight, just with a thin edge to press the fabric into the styrofoam balls. A butter knife is what I've always used. There is something else that you could use, I suppose, like maybe the non-sharp side of an X-Acto knife, but just anything that's stiff and thin will work. And that's all you need to do this project. So stick around and learn how to make these super easy quilted Christmas ornaments. So the very first step in making your quilted Christmas ornaments is to cut out strips of fabric in shapes that you think you will want on the ball. I know there is a more precise way of doing this, but I am not a very precise person. So I tend to just wing it because I think it ends up looking like a quilt that you might find in your grandmother's attic. And it's sort of a thing that I do as I go along. I piece it together. So I will just start out with one piece, and this may be a little larger than I would like, but I think for the first time we're just going to go for a smaller variety of pieces. And it's very simple. I don't know if you can see this. I've just simply cut the piece out, and I am taking the sharp edge of the knife and pushing it down into the styrofoam. Gently, of course. I'm not going all the way to the end because I want to tuck this corner down. The one thing that I have seen through the years of doing this is if I do not keep my knife perpendicular to the ball, it makes it a wider cut into the styrofoam, and it makes it a little more difficult to hold that fabric. I don't know if you can see this, it's just coming together. I'm not quite going to the edge of the fabric. I'm leaving maybe 1/8 of an inch from the edge, so I've got some fabric to grab onto and push down into that ball. I'm kind of trying to do it backwards for the sake of letting you see what I'm doing. So I may not be as agile as I normally am. As you can see, the ornament is now covered with fabric and it looks like a little quilted ball. That was easy enough, right? Now the next step, the last step, is the easiest part of all. I'm just going to use some ribbon to not only make it to where the ornament can be hung on the tree, but also to decorate it just a little bit more. And this last step can be as simple as you would like or as fancy as you like. It's totally up to you. So when you're finished, you're going to have a super cute Christmas ornament that looks like it was difficult to make, but it was really, really easy. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe for more ideas coming up very soon. Happy holidays!